The Prime Minister and Head of Government, Joseph Dion Gute, instructs the Minister of Public Health to step up COVID-19 tests within the communities and ensure rapid follow-up of patients. This was during an interministerial committee. And in the coming months, 50% of books approved by the National Book Commission will be produced by local printers to also boost their revenue. Plus, sports. One of Africa's richest men, South African-born Patrice Motsepe, has been elected as new president of CAF to bring integrity to an association overburdened by financial scandals. Live from Studio 5 of the CRTV Production Center, I am Benen Bumagana. This is the 7:30 News.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Once again, good evening. The Prime Minister and Head of Government, Joseph Dion Gute, has called on the Minister of Public Health to ramp testing for COVID-19 up within the communities and ensure a rapid follow-up of patients. The Prime Minister presided at a meeting of the Interministerial Committee to monitor and evaluate the government's response strategy against COVID-19. More on that story with Star Building correspondent Christian Che Atam.
This session of the Interministerial Committee has held at a time when COVID-19 numbers in Cameroon are on the rise. 5,291 active cases, 633 deaths, and a 12% rate of occupation of hospital beds. It was thus a forum to reactivate strategies aimed at quelling the upsurge.
The head of government asked us to maintain a high level of testing of our compatriots. So we have a meeting with the Minister of Finance to address all of issues that can be an obstacle for our riposte.
Issues surrounding the selection of a vaccine to be used in Cameroon were also discussed during the session.
We have to have confidence to our scientific council. I have just asked them to give us their advice on this situation. The European Union has thought that we can use AstraZeneca without a problem.
Members have identified the systematic decontamination of vehicles and bus stations, as well as the wearing of masks, as ways of keeping the transport sector from becoming a major contamination hub in the country.
Measures are really implemented, and we are going to reinforce and strengthen that measures.
Prime Minister Joseph Dion Gute has invited the different administrations to enforce the respect of barrier measures in order to prevent an escalation of the situation.
And the Minister of Transport, Jean-Enes Masséna Bibehe, paid an impromptu visit to some transport agencies today and cars plying the streets of Yaoundé to ensure that government's measures against COVID-19 are respected. The minister and his team also sensitized road users on how to halt the spread of the disease. Rita Makang was among the patrollers and brought back this report.
It's an unusual patrol along the streets of Yaoundé this March 12, 2021. Under a conducive climate, the transport boss, Jean-Enes Masséna Bibehe, heads the troops to ensure the respect of barrier measures against COVID-19 by road users.
Alors, monsieur, vous, donc, je vais garder votre permis et votre capacité.
In transport agencies, the main flaw observed is the overloading of passengers, with few of them wearing their face masks, a behavior to avoid at all costs, especially as the country faces a rise in the number of COVID-19 infections.
We decided to come here today to be sure that the measure that was taken by the Minister of Transport are okay. And we are sure that they saw this control today. I am sure that next week it will be better.
The minister's unexpected visit to some transport agencies and along the streets of Yaoundé comes days after the issuing of series of press releases for all actors of the transport sector to strictly implement barrier measures.
Let's go over to the West region, which is one of those regions very much hit by COVID, where meetings have been going on how to halt the spread of the coronavirus pandemic over there. Let's follow up with our reporters in CRTV West in Bafoussam.
The curve keeps rising as the number of new cases of the coronavirus recorded in the West region on a daily basis is on the increase. On the 10th of March alone, 474 new infections were confirmed. This evaluation meeting was therefore imperative for stakeholders to brainstorm on ways to curb the spread of the virus in their various sectors. The governor of the West region, Awafonka Augustine, in the course of the meeting called on attendees, among them regional delegates, local and administrative authorities, to intensify the fight. A mass sensitization campaign has been programmed for the days ahead, and mass testings are ongoing in the region to detect new cases.
Let's get over to the National Assembly, where members of the lower house are in accord with the eldest member of the House, Honorable Laurentine Kwame, on the need to end the violence in the northwest and southwest regions. At yesterday's opening of the first ordinary session of the year, they also requested concrete actions to address the coronavirus pandemic. Esther Kima reports on their diverse views as the session begins.
An array of rejoinders met the horrid killings of custodians of tradition and the persistent insecurity.
The major issue has been the social unrest, the socio-political problems that have been faced in the northwest and the southwest.
They agree on a communal approach to end the coronavirus.
We have to insist on the washing of hands, the ability of people living, not more than 50 people in a crowd.
In December, we have voted here a special account which provided money for this pandemic, but we are not seeing what this money is doing.
We will continue to sensibilize our population to accept and respect the barrier measures and then to accept vaccination.
Others set on pushing for institutional changes and impacting their constituencies.
One of the main issues that should be addressed at this time is to review the electoral code. There are lots of flaws in that electoral code. There are lots of things that need to be corrected.
My constituency, we are facing a lot of problems because more internally displaced people are coming in because we are having relative ease.
We have a population explosion in my constituency because of all the people who are coming in from all over because of the relative peace that we enjoy in Limbe.
The lawmakers now await the election of a permanent bureau to begin proceedings.
And in the upper house of parliament, senators are unanimous that working in synergy will greatly contribute to the advancement of the country's agenda for an emerging Cameroon by 2035. They were speaking at the Senate during the opening of the plenary sitting of the March session of the National Assembly for the 2021 legislative year. Sidonie Jobmandi reports.
Expectations are high as senators begun this sitting of the first session of the Senate for the 2021 legislative year.
It is the beginning of a legislative year that has on its agenda the putting in place of a new bureau for the House.
Expecting many things to happen, particularly as far as the bureau renewal is concerned.
During the 2021 March session, some resolutions have to be taken concerning the ongoing sanitary and socio-political crisis in certain parts of the country.
We shall accompany government in addressing the challenges that are plaguing our nation. Now, topical amongst them, the war on the ravaging pandemic. We have to ensure that barrier measures are respected.
The Northwest, the war against ambassadors in the Northwest and Southwest region. If we cannot discuss the war or that particular crisis, let us at least discuss the conduct of that war.
The reorganization of working sessions at the Senate have to be revisited.
Side voting bills, but to have every week a sitting of question to the government as provided by the Constitution.
Working in synergy to achieve a common goal, the senators will do their best to advance the country's agenda for a prosperous and an emerging Cameroon by 2035.
The chairman of the OHADA Council of Ministers, Mohamed Sidi Diko, is in Cameroon for a working visit. He held meetings today with the staff of OHADA Permanent Secretariat in Cameroon. And Charles Ebune was there. He brought back this report.
This is the first visit to Cameroon as chairman of the Council of Ministers of the Organization for the Harmonization of Business Law in Africa, OHADA. And since the Permanent Secretariat of OHADA is found in Cameroon, Mohamed Sida Diko of Malian nationality wanted to understand the working condition of the staff. During his 48 hours visit in Cameroon, he has held meetings with Cameroonian government officials and will be leaving the country this Saturday.
The National Observatory on Climate Change, ONAC, have studied and validated the agricultural calendar for the 2021 season during a workshop which took place in Balmayo, the central region of Cameroon. The calendar will enable farmers to better plan their activities within the 5 agroecological zones in the country. Gerald Nanji Eyambe brings back this report from Balmayo.
The impact of climate change on agricultural activities has left farmers wanting. In order to adapt strategies to counter such effects, the National Observatory on Climate Change has validated the agricultural calendar for the 2021 season.
So many people today have considered that it's so difficult to tell when exactly to plant. Now it is certain from our analysis that they could start planting from the 15th of March with no risk of contradiction.
However, the dissemination challenge remains glaring and requires the support of partners.
This information will be simplified and placed at the disposal of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development that is solely responsible with that sector, but also the other key partners. We should be able to communicate, share the calendar with them, so that they can start distributing in the different networks, the farmer organizations that are in their different localities.
Such monitoring and evaluation will no doubt mitigate the risks associated with the phenomenon, thereby contributing to the country's development.
Close to 15,000 civil servants and public service users in the Adamawa region will henceforth not be compelled to travel to Yaoundé to follow up documents and career-related issues. The reassurance came from the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform, Joseph Lay, who has been on a working visit to Ngaoundéré. Ellis Gwaji Banmia followed the minister in these visits and now reports.
The phenomenon of chronic absenteeism by some state workers in the Adamawa on the pretext of following up documents in Yaoundé will henceforth be a thing of the past. Minister Joseph Lay of Public Service and Administrative Reforms made the declaration in Ngaoundéré while explaining major digital strides made in his ministry.
We have started to implement many services online. Here in Ngaoundéré, the exercise went on smoothly. It was very interesting, and the regional delegates took the commitment to go back and explain to their collaborators all what we are doing.
Holding frank discussions with public service users and youths of the region, Minister Lay reiterated that for now all candidates can take their oral examinations by video conferencing in the Minfopra regional delegation. Another high moment of the day was the visit to the multimedia center of the Adamawa delegation of public service, as well as the Mengangai Youth Multifunctional Center, where all is set for a digital transformation.
The government has requested that 50% of books approved by the National Book Commission be produced by local printers. This was during the second edition of the Printers Forum observed under the theme, The Role of Printing in the Manufacturing of Textbooks. The second edition focused on identifying strengths and challenges of printers and the possibilities of achieving their goals. Cynthia Saptala has details.
About 80% of books needed in Cameroon are textbooks. With the majority being manufactured externally, government's request for local printing was the opportunity for printers to reorganize the sector.
As regarding the equipment of the local printer, one of them alone cannot do that work. I think this meeting is a good opportunity for them to stand together and try to know how they can take this share of the market.
Apart from creating an official association, the forum organized in Yaoundé brought all actors involved in the manufacturing of textbooks to address the challenges.
This one will give us an opportunity to organize that we can now fight about to look what we can do about the printing. Then secondly, it pushes us now to reinvest in the sector. Those are resolutions we are coming out with today.
Encouraging local printing is expected to curb the shortages often experienced in the course of the school year.
A delegation from the National Defense College in Nigeria is visiting institutions in Yaoundé, and this Friday they were at the African Institute of Computer Sciences, known by the French acronym as ERE. The aim of the tour is to emulate Cameroon's example on technology, ICTs and electronic techniques. Details with you, Alice Mbe.
The 33 delegation of the 29th batch of students from the Nigerian National Defense College in Nigeria visited the African Institute of Computer Sciences, EIE Cameroon, to emulate Cameroon's example on technology.
We have seen the work and the output of training over 5,000 ICT engineers. All I can say is that this is one of the practical steps towards developing or driving the digital economy, because it's the human capital that runs any system.
The initiative was appreciated by the director of EIE Cameroon.
It is a great honor to receive them here. We are very happy they have come to acquaint themselves with what we are doing. We have trained more than 3 million people here so far, and why not Nigerians? We are also ready to send a delegation to Nigeria so they can benefit from our knowledge.
He equally pointed out that the best means of learning is through ICT skills and techniques. The delegation is looking forward to paying similar visits to Liberia, Sierra Leone and other African countries in the days ahead.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
You're watching the 7:30 news on the CRTV. Let's now cut into the second canto. There has been an increase in the number of persons tested positive for COVID-19 in the northwest region of Cameroon, with 163 newly confirmed cases and 12 deaths within 1 week. For more on COVID-19 updates in the northwest region, let's now join Baldwin Sama at the Public Health Emergency Center with updates. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Benin Bumagana. It remains one of those regions where we've had an increase in the number of persons tested positive for COVID-19, the northwest region of Cameroon, and because as per statistics made available by the northwest regional delegation of public health, within 1 week, that is to say from the 28th of February to the 6th of March this year, 2021, they carried out 6,591 COVID-19 tests, and out of these persons, 563 of them were tested positive, and we have had 126 Cameroonians in the northwest region who have recovered from COVID-19 within 1 week. And talking about the number of persons who are on treatment or who are receiving treatments after being tested positive for COVID-19 in that part of the country. We have 1,352 of them, with just 12 Cameroonians who've died of COVID-19 within 1 week in the northwest region. And talking about the distribution rate for the persons who've died of COVID-19 as per districts in the northwest region of Cameroon, in Bamenda, 5 Cameroonians died in Bamenda, 3 of them in Kambe, 1 in Fundong, 1 in Kumbo, 1 in Wum, and 1 in Do, taking a number of 12 persons who have died of COVID-19 within 1 week in the northwest region of Cameroon. Disturbing figures there simply comes to remind us for the need to continue respecting the different outlined barrier measures to limit the spread of COVID-19 in Cameroon. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
It's a serious one. Baldwin Sama van Kemen. The mortal remains of the late president of the Bar Council, Charles Chakunte Paty, who passed away last October 4, 2020, has received professional honors today at the Bar headquarters as well as at the Supreme Court. The remains of Charles Chakunte Paty were earlier coffined at the mortuary of the Douala Military Hospital. Sidonie Jobmandi reports.
The late Bar President, Charles Chakunte Paty, advocate at law, has been described as a seasoned professional and flagship of the judiciary in Cameroon. The president of the Bar Council was also presented as a promoter of human rights and freedoms during judicial honors at the Supreme Court. Barrister Kerem Muna, former Bar president, in his farewell oral submissions, saluted the amazing role the late Bar president played in keeping the Bar united.
During his mandate, we had the highest number of English-speaking members of the Bar Council, and also he created at the Bar a special institution that took care of the defense of lawyers. I think that is an amazing task.
Characterized as a man of the rule of law, the death of Charles Chakunte Paty came as a blow to many colleagues who looked up to him.
Preach for courage, that lawyers, wherever they find themselves, should not be cowards. And what we pray is that the Bar should continue in the projects that he started and did not finish.
The hard-working Paty will be remembered as the former president of the Cameroon Bar from 2018 to 2020 and a remarkable father to his children. Charles Chakunte Paty will be buried tomorrow, Saturday, in Bawok in the West region.
May you so rest in perfect peace. This time, the University of Yaoundé has paid tribute to Africa's public health giant, Cameroonian-born Professor Daniel Noni Lantoum, who died last February 15 at 87. The university's scientists took turns at the rostrum of the Faculty of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences to honor the life of this super scholar, who is mostly recognized for his contribution to the eradication of goiter through the use of iodized salt. Beatrice Losamba reports on the ceremony during which Professor Lantoum's legacy was on display.
The university community and the Cameroon Academy of Sciences were on stage to pay tribute to a patriotic scholar whom they say the nation and Africa owes a lot to. Professor Daniel Noni Lantoum's passing last February 15 calls for celebration of his huge legacy, they admit.
He lived a life of service. Service to God, service to the nation, service to humanity.
The distinguished scientist died at 87, bringing afresh memories of his most outstanding research work in the 1990s when he proposed iodized salt to eradicate goiter, a milestone in research.
He worked with government, the Ministry of Health, in ensuring the eradication of goiter and related diseases once he knew what the causes were. And this he did not only for Africa, for Cameroon, but for Africa as a whole.
The influential scientist fought for the recognition of African medicine as an indispensable partner of modern medicine. His rich academic work, which took him to universities in Nigeria, UK, US, and France, is also being celebrated at the University of Yaoundé 1, where he was a pioneer. The scholar spent 5 decades at the Faculty of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, inspiring generations of doctors. He was called teacher, poet, cultural icon, and the testimonies are unending prior to his funeral.
Before we tell you about CAF's new president, let's go over to the far north region where UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador and award-winning writer Jali Amadou Amal has visited the government primary school Manawachi 1 in Mora subdivision of the far north region. She encouraged parents to send their children to school, especially the girl child, who are reported to be exempted by some parents in the area. Accompanied by the UNICEF resident representative in Cameroon, Jacques Boye, they installed modern classrooms in the locality. Henry Tato, Ekambi reports.
Jaili Amadou Amal used her pen to become a celebrity through her books because she went to school. So maintain these children in school and we will see more Jailis in the future. Those were the words of the UNICEF resident representative as he encouraged parents to maintain their children in school during Jaili's first visit as UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador that took her to the government primary school Manawachi in the Mora subdivision in the far north, her region of origin.
I am very satisfied with my visit. I joined parents to maintain the girl child in school.
All over the country, in 2020, we have built more than 148 classrooms. Manawachi benefited from 11 classrooms.
The new infrastructure will go a long way to better learning conditions.
The modern classrooms, land trains, and technical support from UNICEF has led to the increase of the number of pupils, especially girls.
During her courtesy visit to Far North Governor, Jaili Amadou Amal advocated for the education of children, especially the girl child.
South African business guru Patrice Motsepe is the new president of the Confederation of African Football, CAF. The mining billionaire was elected during a CAF Extraordinary General Assembly in Morocco to succeed former CAF President Ahmed. Baldwin Sama now profiles the new CAF boss.
One of South Africa's finest mining billionaire businessman, Patrice Motsepe. He is the founder and executive chairman of African Rainbow Mineral. Born on January 28, 1962, Patrice Motsepe in 2012 was named South Africa's richest man, putting his wealth at the service of humanity, as in 2013 he joins the Giving Pledge, giving his wealth to charitable causes. He is the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club, one of the powerhouses in South African football, as in 2019, Motsepe bought a 37% stake in the Blue Balls Co. He earns a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Swaziland and a law degree from the University of Witwatersrand, where he specialized in mining and business law. Currently the acting chairman of the Black Business Council, Motsepe has won South Africa's Best Entrepreneur Award in 2002. This business guru is married to Dr. Precious Molloy, a physician and fashion entrepreneur with whom they have 3 kids. He is the brother-in-law of both President Cyril Ramaphosa and Minister Jeff Radebe.
The billionaire and owner of 2016 African champions Mamelodi Sundowns, Patrice Motsepe, takes over a football association which is overburdened with financial scandals. And in the following report, Baldwin Sama outlines the challenges ahead of the new CAF president.
It will be a new era at the helm of the Confederation of African Football, and Motsepe-led stewardship expected to rekindle the flames of unity within CAF.
For the past 4 years, we have had so many divisions in the vision of where African football is going. So I think immediately Motsepe's first action will be to try to rally everybody around him.
The image of the football body will have to be restored after several cases of corruption.
CAF has been involved in so many dirty games, and we found the CAF president jailed. We had so many things concerning CAF mismanagement and CAF almost under normalization committees.
And what about financing, vital for the body's success?
He has to look for finances because CAF is in deep financial crisis, and being a billionaire and a businessman, he has a network.
Football lovers anxiously wait to see new reforms reshape CAF's structure and activities.
We also hear that the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Sedumbo Mojoya, has been voted into the executive committee. But let's come back home this time to talk about the League 1 and 2 football championship matches will be played this weekend, as we hear on this report by Gilbert Ongene Anya.
Absent from day one action, Dragon Club of Yaoundé played their first match of the season this Saturday at the annex of the Reunification Stadium in Douala. Dragon will be locking horns with Avion Dunkam. The other Pool A matches are scheduled for Sunday. PWD entertains AS Fortuna at home. Stade Renard versus Jiko FC, while the highly awaited Edingspor versus Bamboutus Dembuda confrontation takes place at the Amadou Aïjo Stadium in Yaoundé. Union of Douala receives Fovu in Bepanda. In Pool B this Saturday, Coton Sport faces Young Sports at the Room de Aja Stadium in Garoua. UMS of Loum versus Colombe in Douala, while Tonnerre confronts Panthère in Yaoundé. 2 matches are scheduled for Sunday. Apejes and Canon meet at the Yaoundé Omisport Stadium, while Les Astros play against New Star in a littoral derby at the Douala Reunification Stadium. 3 matches are on program in Group A of the 2nd Division Professional League. Ngaoundéré FC clashes with Lyon Blessé de Foutini at the Ngaoundéré Doumbé Omar Stadium. AS Matelot versus Racine and Dynamo versus Renaissance take place at the same time. In Group B, Unisport versus Stade de Bertois. Ofta meets Aigle Royal and Fauve Azur versus Leopard. As at now, no team stands out in both the 1st and 2nd Division Professional Leagues. We still have...
It is with our report by Gilbert Ongene that we come to the end of the 7:30 news. Lucas Mebenga is going to be here at 8:30 for the news. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great evening. God bless you.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.